Have you ever felt stuck on how to begin your video? Wondering what should your first words be? Well, this training is for you, my gorgeous women in the She Speaks, She Leads Facebook group here, the community. My goal for you today is to take you through a bit of a process to understand for yourself what to say in the first 5 seconds before you start a video. Right now, I have been guilty of fumbling, of saying hello, I'm just checking this out to make sure this is coming through, or hi everyone, like that kind of nervous hello energy just before you go live or you press record on the video. So if you can relate to this, then I want to invite you to put a yes in the comments, because I too have been guilty of this. I too often get stuck because I forget the critical things, and that is preparation. Preparing before you do your video. But I don't mean preparation in terms of your content and what you're going to share, but actually preparing how you are going to open your video. Now, you might have noticed today the way I opened today's video. It was a question. Have you ever felt stuck on how to start a video? Now, those of you that know me, when I've run these mini master classes, I'm fumbling. I'm like, okay, can you hear me? I want to see if this is coming through. And that is genuinely because I'm fumbling and I didn't prepare my opening. And so let me explain to you the importance of having that first opening. What you're doing is you're allowing the listener to decide whether or not they continue to listen or to scroll right by. Now, how many times have you been listening, go, oh, scroll, it's just not relevant, or scroll, it's just not what I'm seeking? Or maybe it's the fumbling of the speaker going, oh, I don't know if this is for you. Can you hear me? Is this coming through? And there's just this delay. We are living in an environment of instant, like we want to know straight away. So what you want to make sure of is that you capture and captivate from those first 5 seconds. Now, you're not going to be able to capture and captivate everyone in the first 5 seconds. And I don't want you to, because what you want to do is help people decide whether they're going to stay and listen or scroll right by. Just want to check in for those of you that are joining me. I can see that there's someone live here. Please comment below, engage, because I just love to hear that this is landing. Hello, Lorna. Brilliant basis for the opening. Thank you. Yes, it's a practice. And this is the thing. It is a practice, and with anything that you're not used to doing, it feels really uncomfortable. Hello, Kelly, welcome. So your first 5 seconds when you open up a video is the moment that people decide whether the message that you have is relevant to what they are seeking. And so your role is to help them decide that. And the more clear you make that, then the better it is for them and for you. Now, I have been provided so many different structures and frameworks over the years, and I've tested many of them, and some of them felt really off. They didn't feel like me. And what I did is I looked to understand the process and the understanding behind it. And so what I've done is I started to ask myself some key questions that would help me determine how to open up my first 5 seconds of the video. And that's what I want to share with you today, because I can give you a structure, but if you put that structure in place and it doesn't feel like you're going to throw it out and you're going to default to the old way of doing things. So, a bit of a runny nose. So my intention is that I share with you the key questions that I ask myself before I go live online, before I do a training. Would that be helpful for you if I share with you some of the key questions I ask myself to help formulate how to open up? All right. Just a yes in the comments that this is landing and that you can hear me. Okay. The first question I ask myself is, why am I speaking? What is the purpose of my video? And this is really critical, because a lot of people will sometimes just go on live or they'll record the video and there is no purpose to it. Now, I've been guilty of it, and I know you've probably been guilty of it too if you've been doing videos where you're like, I just feel like speaking, or I just want to get it out there, right? And maybe that's the purpose, and that's okay as well. There's no wrong or right, but just asking yourself, why am I speaking? So before I prepared to come on here with you today, that was the question I asked myself. I am speaking because I want to teach. I want to add value. I'd love to engage with my audience to see that this is landing. And I also want to be able to share the next steps for my upcoming challenge. Complete transparency. That is why I'm speaking. So I'm here to teach, to add value to my community, to engage with my community, and to invite you to come to my next challenge. So once I know why am I speaking, the next thing that I ask myself is, what am I speaking about? And this is where we all get hung up, going, what am I speaking? I've got so many things I could speak about. But if I think about my end goal of why I'm speaking is to also invite you to my challenge, I get really, really clear on what am I going to speak about? I'm going to speak about a topic that's relevant and that's connected to what I'm inviting you to. Number one. Number two, I'm also going to be speaking to what are my audience asking me? What are they looking for? What are some of their problems, their obstacles, their desires that they have? And this will help me formulate specifically what I'm going to talk about. And I know that the question and that I get asked by people who are doing videos in that is like, what do I say? How do I start my video? It's a common question I get asked, and it's a question that I always ask and used to ask as well. So I get really micro clear that what I'm speaking about is how to start a video in the first 5 seconds. So now I know what I'm really clear about. And then the next question I ask is, what can I say to help them stop and listen? What can I say, do to help them stop and listen? Now, reality is we often attract people that are similar to us, right? So I want you to ask yourself, what would make you stop and listen? What would make you stop the scroll and listen? And for me, one of the things that would help me stop the scroll and listen was that really clear opening of what that person is speaking about, like that framing up. So you will know, I take you back to how I started my video. It was very much, have you ever felt stuck on how to start your video, wondering what your first words would be? Okay, if I was watching scrolling and someone spoke about that, I would stop because they captured my attention. It's like, yes, that is a question I've always wondered and I want to know. So think about what would help you to stop the scroll based on what you are speaking about. And then I invite you to play with it and have fun with it, right? Look, we often get caught up in structures and do this and say this, but if you take away your essence from it, people will feel that, right? So you want to be able to bring your essence to it. So that clarity, that clear statement that I did at the beginning of the video, that's what I really value, the clarity, the conciseness, and that helps me to determine whether or not I'm going to scroll by or listen in. Now, if you are attracted to something like that, then I invite you to think about that for yourself when you are next doing your video, the clarity and the conciseness. If you value that, then likely your audience values that as well. So I'm just curious, even if you are watching and catching the replay, has this landed for you? Does this make sense for you? Does this help you to formulate what to say in the first 5 seconds when you start your video? I would love to hear and invite you to put it in the comments because this also supports and helps me to make the training better for you. Now, the other thing that and I wrap this up because this is, let me take you back to the 3 questions to ask yourself before you start your video. Why am I speaking? Getting really clear on the purpose of your video. What am I speaking about, right? And what can I say or do to help my audience stop and listen? 3 critical questions to ask yourself. And like I said, the added extra thing is often we attract those people that are similar to us. So ask yourself what would help you to stop the scroll and to listen. All right. Well, this was this week's mini masterclass training. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to invite you, because remember, I said to you, why am I speaking? To add value, to teach, and to engage with my community. And what I want to invite you with is, if you loved this tip, tips are great. Knowledge and learning is great. But the only way knowledge and learning really works is when you apply it and integrate it and practice it. And that's why I created the Let's Get Speaking 7-day challenge. This is 7 days focusing on rolling the sleeves up and getting into action, and let's get speaking. So things like this, what to say in the first 5 seconds, we will be doing that in the Let's Get Speaking challenge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link here if you haven't seen it. And I haven't prepared the link, have I? No, here it is. I will prepare the link and put it in the comments. Oh, no, I can't do that. I will come back and put it in the comments. But if you really love this and you want to get into action, get speaking, get more comfortable with the video, knowing what to say, how to formulate, come and join me on the Let's Get Speaking challenge. We start on the 21st of May. This is a roll up your sleeves. This is getting in action, making it happen. All right, my lovely ladies, have an amazing rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed this, and I would love to hear from you on what other trainings you would love as well around your speaking and leadership. Bye for now.